Daniel's Dread Tales is a show for grown-ups. It may contain adult language and adult themes. Please check the episode description for content warnings. Welcome back to Daniel's Dread Tales. I'm your host, Daniel Fernandez. Pilot season here begins to draw to a close with our second to last pilot game, but it's a good one. We're going to be playing some dark fantasy adventures in the system Shadow of the Demon Lord in a game we call Sheol's Shadows. Enjoy.
Cold winds pulls upon the hair and shoulder tassels of a row of soldiers. Each stands perfectly still and tirelessly aims their long, single-shot rifles, unwavering and certain in the importance of their task at hand. Behind them, a man in a sharp gold vest holds an unrolled scroll, reading its contents. He chews quietly on tobacco, then spits a thick wad of brown saliva onto the deck of a wooden ship. Above him, bats swoop past sails tilted and looking more like insect wings than something designed to catch wind. In all directions past the walls of the deck, there is an inky blackness interrupted only by a tumbling cigar smoke pool of clouds below. Just below the cloud line, arcane turbines pump air to keep the vessel aloft, while making a constant droning sound like that of an emptying drain. At the edge of the airship, standing in a row, are 5 individuals, each gagged with rope and bound by iron manacles behind their back. First in the line is an exceedingly tall man, blue of skin and bound with thicker manacles than any other. Next is a goblin, who appears to have been blindfolded as well. Next to them is an automaton whose mouth gag is debatably useless, but applied for the sake of consistency. Then is another goblin whose feet have also been wrapped together at the ankles. Last in the line is an elf with 2 rows of feathers in his hair, where one might expect antlers or horns. The man says, from his position behind the row of rifles, "Nefti Firefest, you are accused of practicing blood magic. We also have Brahm, whose crime is piracy. MXSD-84632, murder. And Lotus, crime being practicing forbidden magic. And last but not least, Brian, for singing songs in the Emperor's grace which displeased him. You have all been found guilty of crimes against the nation of Gilm. For your infringements and heinous crimes, we commit you now to the realm of Sheol, where you may be at the mercy of your ilk. May your last days be filled with pain and misery, perhaps even repentance. Pray to whichever god you desire. No one will answer, and he signals to his line of men, "Fire!" And they all fill you with bullets. Each of you takes 6 damage. With the last word, each soldier shoots their target, filling the row of criminals with bullets, more for the largest man, and sends them tumbling backwards off the ship and into the clouds below. Tumbling past tree branches far sooner than anticipated, and scraping along the way, each of the criminals eventually comes to land in a wet, deeply forested swamp. The smell of excrement and waterlogged wood fills each of their nostrils. Landing in this unfortunate mire, you hear the sound of the airship leaving expeditiously after offloading its cargo. As you come to terms with where you are, what you should be doing, and what could come next, you hear the low growl of a large reptile. Soon after, you hear the muffled sounds of screaming as the elf at the end of the row is pulled off into the dark fog, which surrounds you in all directions. The sound of a leg being torn from a hip marks the end of the screaming, and then all is silent around you, save for the humming of mosquitoes and squelching of sound of something nearby trying to right themselves and shed their bindings. Around you is a dark, damp, forested swamp. To the north you can make out the faint sight of orange light, and to the south you swear you could hear the sound of a flute. You are still bound by the manacles, some of you blindfolded, and one with your ankles tied. The one with the ankles tied being, we have Nefty, you're tied at the ankles, and blindfolded is Lotus. Now, you are on your own.
I am Brom Storson. I am a mighty Jotun pirate. And what I'm going to do is, look, I know this is probably not going to work, but maybe I was just not doing this earlier because I was going to get shot. I'm going to try to bust out of my manacles. I got 15 strength. I can.
That's an excellent idea. Why don't you give me a strength challenge roll? So that is a d20 plus your strength bonus, which is your strength stat minus 10.
So I got a 16.
Okay. You bust out of those manacles. Now that you have no one threatening to shoot you with bullets, no problem.
All right. And I start looking around to see if this creature thing is anywhere immediately around me.
You don't see anything in the immediate vicinity aside from the other 3 criminals that have been shot along with you. Speaking of, what is everyone else doing in the immediate?
So, my hands are bound, yeah?
You're bound by manacles, and you're blindfolded.
Hey, Brom. So what everybody sees is a bit of a short stack. A small, slightly pudgy female goblin that is you can tell that their hair is it's kind of multicolored. There's a little bit of red and purple to it, and right now they're just kind of sitting upright. You see that they're blindfolded at the moment. Hey, Brom.
You try to speak through the yeah. Yes, there you go. We can't have you doing anything like shouting or possibly casting spells.
I don't have my implement for that anyway.
Brom's size. I guess I should note what Brom looks like. Brom is a Jotun, which is pretty much a giant, or maybe half giant. I'm 10 feet tall. I'm like over 800 pounds. Chalky white skin, crimson eyes, and thick, brutish features covered in scars. Pale white hair bound in cornrows, and, well, looking very irritated by everything that's going on. And he looks down at the goblin. How tall are you, Lotus, by the way, just to get in perspective?
I'm gonna say about 4 feet.
Okay.
Like I'm size 1/2, so yeah, I'm gonna say about 4 feet.
Okay, I'm size 2. So I reach down, I pull down your gag, and I say, "Be quiet, little goblin. They will hear us, and they may kill us." And then I put the gag back on your mouth, and then go to break your manacles.
All right, give me a strength challenge roll.
All right, I'm still pretty strong, so it should be good. I rolled 14.
Yep, bust the manacles up with no problem. Nathan, or I should say MXD-84632, what are you doing?
MXSD, who I will from this point on refer to as M for everyone's sake, is currently just kind of looking around, sussing out the situation, trying to finesse out of his manacles. I should mention he is he's a short, kind of cute looking robot. Imagine those little guys from Nier Automata. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about.
Very roundish boys.
Yeah. Also he has killed before and will kill again, but that's beside the point.
I hope so.
Yeah. I'm going to try and finesse out of my manacles.
Yeah. Give me an agility challenge roll.
Okay, so I rolled a 2.
Okay. Well, I assume that 2 plus whatever your agility is minus 10 is not equal to 10.
Yeah.
You start fiddling with your manacles and find that, at least for the moment, you can't quite get the angle to slip out of them. Not yet, anyways.
And because, as you pointed out, there was no point to gagging me, the whole time I'm going, that stupid fucking, why? I'm just trying to, he's just getting very annoyed in a cute robot way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely nothing is stopping you from speaking.
Yeah.
Brom is going to say, "Quiet!"
If you want to be quiet, then help me out of these cuffs.
Ugh. I reach down, I'll roll another d20.
Yeah.
I got a 12.
Yep, that breaks him.
You're a real one, Brom.
Yep. Nefty Firefest, what were you doing during all this?
Nefty is hopping away with no thought for either dignity or his companions.
Okay. Any particular direction? There's like a orange light somewhat in the north, and there's the sound of a flute being played in the south.
Light seems like a good thing. It's pretty dark out here.
Okay.
Nefty Firefest is an impossibly ugly young goblin who fancies himself a blood librarian. While Nefty might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, he will find it, cut you with it, and collect the blood.
Why?
For the purposes of librarianing, obviously.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's got to be documented.
Alright, so one of the goblins has gone hopping off to the north. Probably quite a bit slower because their legs are bound.
Hey, I might be slower, but nobody else is moving yet.
It's true. You're speed running this.
Okay, so the thing I'm most worried about is, as you said, there was some sort of creature that ate the elf that was with us.
Someone was very
Do
unlucky.
I see any... Can I roll something to look for this creature? I know you say it's, like, dark and foggy, but, like...
Yep, it is dark and foggy. Do you have shadow vision or anything of the like?
No.
Alright, well, it's very dark. Give me a perception roll with, we'll say 2 banes. So whatever your perception is, it's just like your strength stat, etc.
I mean, this is going to be a waste of time, but we'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail this, just as a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, I'm going to roll... There we go, and then I got to roll my 2 banes.
Mm-hmm. So 2d6 and subtract the highest.
You know what? I got a 9, which is better than I thought I would get with it. Oh, subtract the highest, not add up together. I got
Correct.
a 10, technically.
You got a 10, technically. That's impressive.
I got a 15 on my main roll, so 17 minus 2, and then I rolled a 5 for my negative there. So technically a 10.
Very
Well,
nice.
The way it works is you're basically always looking for 10, so that's technically a success.
Hell yeah.
You can see that the elf that was with you at the end of that row was dragged to the south into what appears to be a very wide and possibly shallow puddle, almost like a pond of some sort. You can still see a bit of the body floating above the surface, but it's being, like, death rolled occasionally. And that's
I
the
wanna
same
go
direction
north.
as the flute.
I want to go north. That's where the goblin was going, right? I'm going north.
Yeah.
Come.
Alright.
Come, or be devoured.
I guess I can. I guess I can come along.
I see no reason why not.
Hop, hop, hop.
Yeah, as Lotus is standing up, they pull the blindfold that that was forced upon them off of their eyes, and actually they just kind of pull it up and start using it as like a hairband. And you notice that their eyes are faintly glowing purple.
Interesting.
Is that a typical goblin thing? I don't know many goblins.
Oh no, I'm special. You know this. We've been around each other for long enough. Come on, Brom.
We are prisoners in the same prison. That does not mean we are allies. Not yet.
So, as you bicker for a bit, the other goblin, Nefty Firefest, seems to get a lead on the rest of you over towards that orange light. So I'll describe to you what you see, Russell. Nearly lost in the particularly deep section of this swamp, a wooden hovel barely seems to contain the small scrap orange lantern light inside of it. The wooden boards of the walls seem to have separated in many places and are only barely still clinging to whatever supports are inside. Depending on how strong you are, you may almost feel like you could just push this whole thing over on your own. The door to the inside has a weirdly large iron lock bolted to the front, but a window on the side of that, like just to the side of it, looks like you could grant yourself passage if you were to perform a little bit of breaking and entering.
Absolutely.
Alright, well, you're
Hop,
still...
hop, dive.
Okay, explain to me how you're going to break this window, what specific body part you're using.
Well, I'm hoping for shoulder, but head probably makes sense.
Okay. I'm going to have you give me an agility challenge roll with 2 Banes here.
Right. 9.
Okay. You take 1 damage as you break through the window and cut yourself on the glass.
Perfect.
You have to, like, wriggle your way through here. Fortunately, you're probably wearing something, so it's not going to just completely tear open your abdomen as you crawl into here.
We'll let the listeners decide what I'm wearing.
A thong.
Ugh.
Alright, so the walls inside here are lined with weapons, most of them rotted and rusted to the point of uselessness. A massive hacksaw hangs from the ceiling, its jagged teeth showing a bit of dark brown, suggesting that it was used for something other than wood. There's a number of knives which appear to be still in decent condition, mostly embedded into a sock stuffed with straw, like a knife block. There's a pistol that's been left on the work table here, 3 bullets next to it, along with some extra parts which hopefully don't belong to the weapon. Hanging on the back of the front door is a long leather jacket, thickened in some parts to provide extra protection. I will say, about the time that you, like, worm your way into this hovel and right yourself and start taking in this sight, the rest of the would-be crew arrives to see this. You see a goblin just, their feet wiggling in the window, and then thump, they're inside.
All right. Well, I'm not fitting in any windows.
On some level, I have to respect the audacity of this goblin. You know, I'm going to leave the lock to Brahm. I'm just going to follow him through the window.
But
well,
there's a bunch of I'm
a robot.
fair. You are.
I'm
a
not
robot.
soft.
Okay, well, is the lock like a padlock on the door, or is it like, like the lock is built into the door?
Yeah, it's like one of those bolts where you there's like a key, and like if you put the key in, you could swing the big like piece of metal off of the other side, the hinge.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to kick this door open then.
You could certainly do it if you want.
Well, we'll
like
see
I
what
said,
the dice
it's like
say.
The whole thing is in like such bad condition that you could probably punch a hole through the wall. Because you're strong enough to break manacles.
Tries to kick door open, kicks entire cottage down instead.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I'm gonna make an attack roll then.
Okay.
Or, hear me out.
What are you...
I could just go through the window and then unlock the door from the other side.
You are inside and not bound, unlike the other person inside.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that was an option. Sorry, I do that.
Okay, because I'm getting ready to punch this door.
And just before you do, I open the door like, were you about to do something? I apologize. Anyway, come on.
Grumble, grumble.
So thank you.
Thank you,
There's
small
about
one.
4 knives here, a pistol, a leather jacket, a big hacksaw.
What's the size of the leather jacket?
It is not your sized.
I feel like that's gonna be a description of a lot of things we encounter.
You are, in fact, 10
Probably.
feet tall, so...
Yeah.
You're gonna have to make some or something.
I sort of look around, scoff at these weapons, because my fists are my weapon. But I look down at all the small people with me and say, arm yourselves. As if you needed my permission to do so.
Yeah, Lotus was already kind
Yeah.
of gravitating towards the pistol and like picking it up. And I'm just going to make a narrative declaration here. Scale-wise, this pistol is 25% bigger than it should be in Lotus's hands. It looks barely comically big, but they seem to be able to like handle it normally.
Okay.
Yep. And there's 3 bullets
Knives.
with that.
Oh yeah, it loads them.
Yeah. You can load 1 at a time.
Pistols in this are 1 shot. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So load the first one and pocket the other.
So Nathan, you're taking those knives.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 of them. Do you want to share or no?
I mean...
There's also another goblin in here, so...
Nefty frantically trying to remove their bindings.
Who is still bound. Yeah, you are, like, still manacled as far as I remember.
Are they also still gagged?
Yeah.
If I free you, will you harm us?
Nefty thinks about it for a minute.
M takes a brief moment to remove Nefty's gag.
I was going to see if they nodded. Or shook their head.
Nefty shakes their head from side to side.
Okay. I'm going to break the manacles open.
Alright, strength challenge roll.
Oh, I got a 20 that time.
Nailed it.
There you go. They're
Rolled a
like
15. I get +5 to my strength, so.
they're like glass underneath your massive hands.
Now the feet.
Oh, yes, of course. I got a 13 on that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you can just untie the feet, no problem.
Oh, I did. Right. I guess if it's just a rope, then it's pretty
Yeah.
easy.
So yeah, I guess that means, Nathan, are you sharing those knives with the only other person here who is not yet armed?
Hey, what do you like to fight with?
Knives. Knives is nice, but whatever's at hand.
Okay, I hand off 2 of the knives.
Knives.
You know, I believe in being personable and generous. Ignore the murders, you know?
Ignore the murders is my personal philosophy.
What murders?
All right. I look around. Is there anything in this besides just a table with some crap on it? Like, is this place warm? Could we stay here to, like, recover at all?
It barely can contain 2 of you, and
Okay.
nothing about anything here is warm.
Okay. Then this place
Wind
sucks.
just whips straight through it, yeah. Since you're considering this place and thinking about taking a breather, because you did just get shot and fell through some trees and stuff, you do notice behind you, somewhere in the forest, there's another light, a bit brighter than the lantern that's in this little hovel, and you can almost make out the shape of a man in the darkness. And from sort of the fringes, quite a bit of ways from where you are, seemingly with some level of caution, you hear a man's voice call out to you, "Oi, you alright? I heard gunshots earlier. Are you hurt?"
Give me your blood.
I was gonna hold up my hand to, like, signal for people not to talk, but
I go screaming off into the darkness with a knife raised aloft.
Christ.
Okay, well, I
I should
heard...
not have given those knives.
I did in fact hear Nefty Firefest scream, "Give me your blood." So in response, you hear the crack of a gunshot from the direction of that man, and I'm not going to be kind. I'm going to roll an attack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, so we got ourselves a 18 versus defense.
Oof.
Defense is 12.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Nefty, you take 3 damage.
Perfect.
As another bullet lodges itself into your, well, somewhere in your body. And at around that time, the forest around you, you spot 8 sets of eyes. Neon green, glowing in the darkness. And you hear the howling of wolves. Let's get ourselves into combat.
Nailed it.
So, a brief primer on how this works. The round is in 4 phases: fast turns for players, fast turns for monsters, slow turns for players, slow turns for monsters. It's always in that exact order, unless there are extraneous circumstances. You can choose which phase you want to act in, and you only get to act in one, unless you're a rogue doing some bullshit. In fast turns, if you're acting in that phase, you can do 1 action: move or action. In slow turns, you can do both, move and action. So, at the beginning of combat, you will tell me if you want to do fast turns or slow turns. This person is distant from you, so unless you have a ranged weapon and you're trying to do melee, you're going to have to move up to them. Or if you want to position yourself in a particular way, you will have to do a move action. Otherwise, you can do any of the quote-unquote actions from the stuff you can do PDF that I've shared with you.
I'm gonna take a slow action.
Okay.
I will take a fast action.
Okay, fast for Russell. Nathan, any thoughts?
I'll take a fast action. I don't think I have any of the advanced rogue shit yet.
Okay. And Damien.
I will take a slow action.
Okay. So, let's start with MXSD, or M, I should say. You're taking a fast action. What would you like to do?
Not be here right now, but if retreat isn't an option... Is retreat an option?
You could try running off, but you are currently surrounded.
Damn.
I thought there was only the one guy. I mean, I guess there's the one guy and the eyes in the forest.
Right. About 8 wolves.
Right, wolves. Wolves, okay.
Well, I'm not a big fan of getting mauled by wolves, so I'm going to use my fast action at the moment to start running up to the guy here.
Okay. What's your speed?
8.
Okay.
Could
So
be
you
worse,
start-
could be a lot better.
Well, so you start running off in the direction of the guy who just shot at Nefti. And you can see that by the end of your run there, you're probably about 2 yards away. So pretty close. You'll be able to close the distance, no problem, next time. That brings us to Nefti, who was just shot. You were already running.
Nefty will run back to the shack.
What a shocker.
All
I
right.
don't know, they attacked. I gave him the standard greeting.
That is the standard greeting in some places. Alright, so you run back into the shack. What is your action? The man will drop the pistol and draw a sword, but other than that, he just waits for you to close the distance. And the wolves are going to act in slow turns, so they will go after Brahm and Lotus next. So speaking of, Brahm and Lotus, what would you like to
Lotus,
do?
let's have you go first, if you don't mind.
I was going to wait to see what you did.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to do what I was going to do, which is being inside this hut is not giving me any real advantages, especially if anybody could knock it down, especially me. So I guess I'm going to run towards this guy. With my speed of 10, will I get up to this guy this turn? How
Yes.
far away is he?
Yeah, you would be in melee range with him, because at 8 yards, was just 2 yards away.
Oh, and I have a reach of 2, so I can...
Well, even better.
Yeah, so I'm going to run up to this guy, and I am going to punch him.
Okay.
Just because he's pulled out, well, I want to say he attacked one of my friends, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. But if he's, I'm going to punch him.
That's
yeah.
very logical.
Yeah.
Give me an attack roll.
Okay. So with the attack rolls, I get, what size is he? He's probably smaller than me. He's human sized?
Yeah, he is smaller than you. He's size 1.
Okay. So I get +1 boon against people that are smaller than me. I get +1 boon when I do a melee attack. I get -1 boon or +1 bane because I am attacking unarmed. So it's going to be a total of rolling with 1 boon. Yes, because I'm an unarmed fighter. So those boons cancel out that thing there. So I'm going to roll... roll this plus my boon. I got a 20.
A 20 will hit.
I would hope so.
Yes.
And then I'm going to roll 2d6 damage. I don't add anything to that, right? I just roll the base damage.
Correct.
I add these together or take the highest, the 2d6?
They're added together.
I rolled a 6 and a 5, so I do 11 damage with my punch. So I start running at this guy full force, and I know I was telling people to be quiet, but I'm no longer doing this because the battle rage of the Jotun has come upon me, and I just go and I just punch him straight in the face.
Excellent. Yeah, he is just like pushed back a couple of feet by the force of that, and you can hear some bones cracking from the force that you've just placed upon him. Alright, that brings us to Damien. Lotus.
So I can't use any of my magic yet because I don't have an attuned item. So
What is your attuned item supposed to be?
it can be basically anything that I take an hour to attune to. Type deal. There other than for the invocation stuff, there's nothing that is like specific.
Okay.
I was originally going to be like, can I grab like a rock or something? Or, at least until I got the pistola. But I haven't had time to do the whole attuning thing to it. So looks like it's guns time. I am going to shoot my pistol at this guy.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's going to be an agility roll.
It is an agility attack roll. So you're just attacking his defense, but you add your agility bonus.
Yeah, which is a -1.
Now, could I use prayer to give a boon to this attack roll?
It's a triggered action, right?
It is.
You can, in fact, do that.
Well, I will do that.
Yay.
Oh boy, I really hope you hit with this one.
That's your prayer.
Oh boy, yeah.
But somehow that works, so...
It's not going to work.
Oh, okay.
It's a total of 5.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, that's not going to hit. That whizzes past both M and Brahm out into the darkness.
That would have worked if I'd had my blood.
And for moving, Lotus is gonna kind of hide a little deeper in the shack, kind of moving out of line of sight as well as they can in a rickety shack.
All right. So we're going to start with 4 wolves running up to both M and Brahm. 2 of which start to leap onto Brahm, trying to gnash with their teeth and claw you with their little paws.
Oh, such cute little paws.
Their cute little paws. Will a 15 hit your defense, Brahm?
It will, yes.
Yeah, a 20 will as well.
Yes.
So you will take, in total, 4 damage between the 2 of them.
That's fine. I can take 4 damage. The winter wolves of the north are much more dangerous than these.
18 versus your defense, M.
13.
Oh,
Okay,
technically the south. I'm from the south, not the north.
And then 15 against your defense will beat that 13 as well. So M, you take 4 damage.
I have 6 health. Maybe
It'll
it was a
buff
bad idea to start a fight when we were all still recovering from.
How do you have
check
so
notes.
little health?
Manageable. I'm a rogue!
I have 21 health left.
You're a giant man.
You are a very large
Look.
man.
If I am hidden from somebody, I can just kill them instantly. That's a thing I could do with a strength challenge roll, okay? I'm not meant for this.
Well, you should get better at hiding then.
What is a triggered action? Because I actually can triggered action hide.
You can totally do that. Well, you got wolves on you, so probably not right now.
Yeah.
But speaking of wolves and hiding, there's 2 people hiding in the hovel, and the wolves, 4 more, come trying to pour through the front door of that. 1 trying to go in through the busted window. And I'm going to say 3 of them are coming after you, Lotus, as they sort of try to wriggle through the door and claw and bite.
Oh, goddamn.
16.
Yeah, it hits.
17.
It hits.
Yeah, 23.
Gee, I wonder if it hits.
And then
Yeah.
1 bursts past through and tries to bite at you, Nefty Firefest. Oh, wow. 8.
Miss.
Okay. So, Lotus, you're taking 6 damage in total from that. That's all the actions. That brings us back up to fast turns for players if you choose to. You can declare now if you want to act in fast turns or slow turns.
If I act in the slow turn, I get to do 2 things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a slow turn on this one.
Okay.
I guess I will as well. I can attack twice or no?
No, 1 attack or, you get 1 attack action. So fast for you then, Russell?
Yes.
Okay, so fast for Russell, slow for Nathan.
I'll go fast. I don't need to go anywhere, so I'm just gonna punch.
Mm-hmm. And Lotus.
I'm going to have to move either way, and that's going to trigger a bunch of triggered actions against me, which are going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll have to take a fast action, because I'm taking damage either way.
Okay, let's go with fast turns for players, and we're actually going to start with Brahm. Unless, Nathan, you're in slow, unless you want to change your mind.
I do want to change my mind. I just realized how this works.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll be in fast turns with M as well. And it sounds like you have something interesting, so let's do you first then.
Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is use Nimble Recovery, which lets me heal equal to my healing rate, which is 4, and then move up to half my speed without triggering any attacks of opportunity. Free attacks, sorry, still Still a D&D player. And then I can use my triggered action, which is just any time on my turn, to hide or retreat. So I'm going to escape and then slip into the shadows with a hide action.
Excellent. So you're gone, as far as anyone's concerned.
Please let this work.
Brom would probably be offended if he noticed that you slipped away. But there are wolves on top of him. So he is going to just kick one of these wolves away to do an unarmed attack against it.
Okay. Roll an attack.
I got a 20. I rolled a 14, and then my boon was a 6. I've been rolling great. I love this.
Excellent. Give me some damage.
That's not as good, but 8 ain't bad. 8 damage for the wolf.
All right, you punch the wolf. It falls into the swamp and explodes into a cloud of flies.
Oh, so this is not a normal wolf. Also, I didn't punch the wolf. I kicked the wolf, but yes.
Sorry, you kick the wolf, and then it explodes into a cloud of flies. My bad.
I don't think they're supposed to do that.
I've seen a wolf do that before.
I kicked it so hard it exploded. I'm awesome.
Yeah, into a cloud of flies. Lotus, let's go to you.
Lotus is going to use their fast action to use... Where was it? Spell recovery. Now, I can't use the second portion of it, because I haven't used any spells. But I can use the first portion of it that lets me heal my up to my healing rate. Which will hopefully keep me alive a little bit longer. And that is my action.
All right. That only leaves Nefty Firefest.
Rather than attacking with both weapons, I would actually like to attack holding a single-handed weapon in both hands.
Okay. You can do that.
All right. Which means I roll with a boon, correct?
I believe so, yes.
All right. Yeah, that didn't work. I rolled a 1 on both die.
Wonderful.
How?
Oh, no.
This is me. You don't need to ask
You know what?
how.
It is you. It is you.
I lunge down, I feel it connect, and I just really wriggle it in there. It's in a shelf or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, you see the camera just like, you're like, and it's just in a shelf. All right, 3 wolves are left around Brom. There is 1 less robot to attack, so all 3 of those are going to attack you before anything else. All right, 10 versus defense. Daniel?
Yeah, my defense is 10. So
does
that mean it hits or it doesn't hit?
That will be 1 hit, and I'm seeing a 7 and a 6 after that, so only 1. You will take 3 damage from that.
Okay.
And then the 4 wolves that are inside the shack are going to try to rip the shit out of these poor goblins. We'll do 3 for you, Damien. Okay. That's cool. I rolled a 6, a 6, and a 9. Any of those hit?
1 hit.
One hit?
1.
Oh my
yes,
god.
my defense is 9.
How is... Oh.
Incredible.
I am a squishy.
Yeah, but how do you... Is your agility... it's fine. It's fine.
Yes,
It's fine.
my agility is 9.
Well, the good news for me, though, is that I rolled hot on that dice. You were taking 6 damage.
Oh, that...
All of your fucking magic is not going to work for any of you people because you're all going to be dead.
Well, okay. Okay. If somebody hadn't have yelled about needing people's blood, I would have been able to prepare. But that's going to incapacitate me. That puts me at... That puts my damage equal to my health.
Okay.
I merely gave them the option of volunteering their blood.
All right. Neft, we're looking at a 13 versus defense.
That is just barely a hit.
Okay. You were taking 3 damage.
You're gonna come back to this cabin and it's just gonna be goblin soup inside.
Yeah. You take 3 damage there, Neft. Before I forget, let me pull up the dying section. I didn't think we would get there today. Let's see.
Sometimes life gives you lemons. And by lemons, I mean mortal wounds.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded better in my head.
Alright, so you're incapacitated.
While you're looking at that, so since Nefty is the only one that's in the cabin with me,
Yeah.
what Nefty sees is as soon as Lotus goes down, they're no longer a goblin anymore. They seem to grow about a foot in height. And what you see lying on the ground all incapacitated like, is a roughly humanoid shape made out of like dirt and sticks and
Detritus?
detritus. Yes, that is the word I was looking for.
That's really starting to make some sense now.
Okay, well, the good news is that you're not, like, in the real shit yet. There's a process that comes after this, which you could get out of pretty relatively easily. Okay, so we did the wolves. There's the dude who, well, you're still nearby, Daniel, so can't just run away. That will incur an attack. It's a triggered attack. Fuck it. So he's going to just try to stab you in slow turns. He's going to do that first. See if you can, in his mind, bring you down.
He could walk away. I don't need to fight him if he's going to walk away.
We got ourselves a 23.
That hits. That definitely hits.
But I mean,
Okay.
this guy is a human, and we all know your thoughts on human.
Oh, right. No, he is a human. I do have to kill all of the humans. That's like my whole deal.
Wow, I could not have rolled less. That is 3 damage from a sword strike on you.
I have lost half of my health. But,
Alright, well that's everyone. That brings us back to the top of the round. You can choose to act in fast turns or slow turns.
Fast turn.
Slow turn.
Alright.
I guess I'll go fast.
I'm incapacitated.
Yeah, you are incapacitated. You're not dying, though, which is an important distinction.
Yes.
So
It's not even any blood
first-
for me to collect.
First, we'll have you, Damien, roll a d6.
Am I aiming for something specific?
Don't roll a 1.
Hey, I rolled a 4.
Okay. You are not dying.
Yet.
Yahtzee!
No.
I'm okay with not dying.
But you are disabled, so you won't be doing anything this round.
Yeah.
Let's start with M.
So, at this point, I can use assassinate.
Mm-hmm.
When a surprised creature or a creature from which you are hidden takes damage from your attack, it must make a strength challenge roll. On a failure, it takes damage equal to its health.
Cool.
So, that's fun.
That is very fun. I like that.
How does a strength challenge roll go? And can I add my murderer profession as a boon to it?
I think there's a couple of things working in your favor here. You are hidden, so any attack that you make against, say, the human that is out there with all these wolves, that will be made normally with an additional boon on top of your normal, and we'll add another one because you are a murderer.
Sweet.
On top of any normal boons you have, add 2.
Well, doesn't the enemy has to make the strength check? But no,
Right, but
first
you
gotta hit.
need
Never
to
mind.
make the
Yeah.
hit, yeah.
Sorry. You have to actually hit him first.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I feel like I'm not going to like the answer. Does a 14 hit?
Actually, it does.
Oh, shit!
Now just don't roll a 0 for damage.
I mean, that's a thing that can happen, huh?
It is
Just a
technically
moment.
a thing.
I'm not as prepared as I should be, but let me just find knives.
I think it's
1d3.
Yeah, 1d3.
Okay. A 3.
Okay, so you stab him since you did damage, and you're assassinating. He needs to roll a strength challenge roll, which he has failed. Good for him. Tell me how M murders this man then.
M steps out of the shadows behind him, grabs his neck, pulls him down, like classic video game stealth takedown, and then shanks him 3 times in the side.
Alright, his body slumps down into the swamp before you. He drops his sword, and all of the wolves explode into clouds of flies, which dissipate into the swamp.
Oh! I should have attacked him instead of the wolf.
I figured since the wolf exploded into flies, it was probably magic, which means always kill the caster first.
See, I thought that maybe it was a multi-side situation. I thought those wolves were, well, I guess I was wrong. I thought those wolves might have attacked him as well, but no.
Seems not. Back in the hovel, we got ourselves Nefty, who is conscious, and Lotus, who is not.
I could use shared recovery. I'm not sure how recovery from incapacitation works, but I can do some healing.
Pretty much as long as you heal 1 damage, you will just be impaired for 1 minute. Afterwards, you're fine.
Okay, for shared recovery, once per rest, I and another creature each heal our recovery rate.
Yay, I gained 3 hit points back.
Congrats on the not
I
being
gained-
dead.
Oh, 5.
Thank you.
Rest, you are impaired for 1 minute, which means you would roll things with 1 boon. It will not matter as long as you just chill for a bit.
So, yeah, after Nefty picks Lotus back up, they shake their head, hold up a finger that is basically a twig, and then you see them like morph and contort back into the shape of the goblin lotus. Ow! That hurts.
I am already out the door, running towards the man, knife raised. Shoulda listened. I will take his blood and put it in my pockets.
Okay.
How?
So
Bloody
Bra-
pockets.
Yeah, really
Bra-
gross pockets.
Brahm and M, you see Nefty running out from the hovel, knife in hand. And the man before you that you've killed still has some blood in him, thankfully, for, I guess, Nefty. And it's just sort of
Good.
normal, palish looking human man wearing a leather coat. And he has dropped his sword, which is just a normal short sword. And he dropped a pistol, which is now unloaded.
Lotus, after a while, is going to kind of stumble out of the hovel, looking very much so worse for wear, and go and see if there's any more ammo on this person, and also pick up the pistol.
You do, in fact, find 1 extra bullet on him.
Yay, that puts me back up to 3. And I have a second pistol. And I think I'm also going to take the time to load both of these.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
Do we hear anything else like moving out there? Do we have a moment?
You have a moment to collect yourselves. It doesn't seem like anything is moving to flank you at this point. You don't hear any squelching footsteps of something out in the swamp. There's just the constant like buzzing of mosquitoes that are trying to get at your skin. And after you've got yourselves a little bit together, figured out, okay, checked all my wounds, all that fun stuff, it seems like the mist around you has parted a little bit in a very specific direction, although what direction that is, who knows.
I want to pick Nefty up by the head.
Okay. Nefty, you have some blood.
Yay. What's up, boss?
What were you doing?
Getting blood. It's kind of my whole deal.
When you act like a fool, you endanger the crew.
It all worked out.
Did it though?
I toss you into the swamp.
Dead human? Pockets full of blood?
I mean, we're all kind of in the swamp. I just sort of toss you
Yeah.
towards the ground.
That's fair.
Not violently. Yeah.
Yes, dead human, pockets full of blood, lost in a mysterious swamp that we have no knowledge of, with no way to know what direction we're going.
Well, at least one of those things is my fault. Probably.
Endanger us again, and I will make sure you do not do it a third time.
Does this guy have anything else of note on him?
It doesn't appear that there's anything particularly interesting left on him. He doesn't have like an insignia that tells you, oh, he belongs to a guild or anything like that.
Any sort of like weird trinkets?
Does he have a plot hook?
Actually, he would.
We can go fishing with a plot hook.
Yeah. As you go looking through his
Smart
stuff
ass.
and like you like turn the body over to like pull the jacket off, probably, you notice that there's like a little burr, like one of those little things that gets stuck on your pants off of plants. It's stuck kind of onto the back of his neck. It's just a little plant thing just stuck on there.
Gross.
With my knowledge of the occult, because that is like one of my academic professions,
Mm-hmm.
would I be able to roll to see if this is something that I might recognize?
Yeah, why not? Give me a roll. Give me an intellect challenge roll with 1 boon.
This is something I'm good at. That is a 17 in total.
Okay. There is some Fey bullshit at work here. This is the sort of thing that someone who's encountered a fae in the woods might find themselves having on their body after dealing with fae in an unfavorable fashion.
This guy pissed off the fae. That's hard to do.
Is it hard to do? Fey creatures seem to be fickle.
I mean, goblins are fake. Piss me off. I just hold on to his blood.
There you go.
We cannot stay here. We need to find somewhere dry.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to rest a little bit. I'm gonna try and pluck this little burr off of his neck and, like, store it away somewhere in a pocket.
As you just, like, pull it off of his skin, it makes the same sort of sound as, like, pulling apart Velcro. And the little, like, burrs, instead of being, like, sharp, they're a little bit sticky, and they start, like, wriggling, like tiny little worms on it. And then you can just pocket that.
Gross.
Yeah.
I wonder if it bleeds.
Stop that, you. That's what got us into this in the first place.
Goblins. Can you use your sorcery to find us a place of safety?
Well, as I had my implement confiscated from me, if somebody would have given me a little bit of time to, set up a new one, as Lotus is staring daggers at Nefti, I'd have been able to help out with this a little bit more. But unfortunately, I think we should follow the cleared out area, as the mist seems to have cleared a bit. Now, with my shadow sight, is that what it's called? Yeah, shadow sight. Do I notice anything, since I can see a little bit better in, like, shadowy areas?
Just for the sake of helping things keep going to our own benefit, just at the very far range of your vision where the fog has parted for you, you can see the very beginnings of a boardwalk.
Looks like we got civilization that way.
Well, it's a start.
Civilization is not always,
It beats dying in the mud.
but it beats this shit.
You know what that means? Containers.
And you also said you were looking for somewhere dry. There's probably a dry place over that way. Hey, Nefti, you should probably take the lead.
Sure. Nefti takes the 4.
That's probably bad.
And Lotus is going to hide behind Braum.
Just walking through the darkness, you don't hear anything except a soft plapping as Nefti's wet hands play against his legs.
Ugh.
Alright, FT. Since you're the first in line, you end up coming up on this boardwalk, which is in some parts sinking into the swamp, but it's quite a bit better than what you've been doing before this. As you're kind of entering what looks to be a town built upon these stilts, you can see about 7 or so houses kind of in this general area that's been cleared out. There's a blacksmith shop not too far from the fringes, which doesn't look very occupied. All of the houses seem to have some kind of light going on inside of them, but you don't see any movement to indicate that they're occupied by anyone. At one far end, you see there's a church, although you don't see any holy symbols that would indicate to you what this church belongs to. There's also a bit on, like, the other end, far away from the church, is a stone mausoleum with a large iron door, and sort of nestled in between them, almost like it was built there specifically to facilitate being closest to everyone, is a tavern. It looks like it was built around a big, decaying tree, so it's kind of stuck in the middle, and they built around it. The name of the tavern is the First Flies.
I wonder if that's related to the guy we killed.
Let's try to keep the fact that we killed someone on the down low for now. Please.
I wipe off my hands.
We're in a
Oh,
place that is a prison for undesirables. I suspect most people here will have killed before.
I would like to remind you that the guy who got eaten when we first got here, his crime was being a poor singer.
Well, he must have been a really bad singer.
I mean, all they did was pick me up when I was trying to make a friend. Cut apart 1 or 2 corpses to make a buddy.
I don't... magic.
They said I was a blood magician. I have never done blood magic in my life.
I mean, we should probably make our way to this town. It's at least dry here. Do people react as we walk in?
You don't seem to see very many people, although the one or two that you do spot, they're kind of shuffling through the shadows towards the church, like going between a home and the church. And of the 2 or 3 that you've seen so far, each of them is at least missing a leg. Some of them are missing an arm as well. They pay you no heed, if they've even seen you.
Well, I'd say let's head to the tavern, but it looks like it costs an arm and a leg.
Oh my god.
I like this one sometimes.
Well,
Let's see them try to take our arms and legs.
well, we don't have any money for the tavern.
Ah, so maybe it really will cost an arm and a leg. That is unfortunate.
Doesn't mean we can't ask around, right?
Yeah, it's fair.
If we're lucky, we'll see a job board. That was a joke. We are not lucky.
Are any of the less than fully armed or legged people, are they humans mostly?
Seems to be a mix, actually. There's at least one goblin, a dwarf, and you think you probably saw an elf in there as well.
All right. If we need to, we could shake down some people to get some money.
That's fair. Well, let's go. Let's go see the tavern then.
My question, whenever we're entering buildings, do I have to duck when I'm inside? Do I have to duck when I go through the door? Or is it built to accommodate my height?
No, it was not built for your height. Nothing probably will be. So you will have to duck to get in here. But at least when you're in here, you're not completely bumping your head. It's at least tall enough for that.
Okay, yeah. I figure most doors I go through, I'm used to ducking through doors. But when I go inside, I wonder if I can fit or not.
As you go inside of the first flies, it's not altogether that different from your standard fare of bars as far as taverns go. The floor kind of sinks in a bit more than it should, and even inside here there's like the occasional puddle as the swamp has like managed to come up through the floorboards. There's several occupants here, 4 goblins and a dwarf with a long rifle and a helmet with one of those like monocles on a swivel. He seems to be like working on that instrument, that gun. The barkeep at the very far end, he's a lithe, pale elf who, now that you look at him, his skin is not like real skin. It's like it's made out of exposed wood. The way it moves and behaves seems to be kind of like normal skin, but the texture it's wood. It's even got like the grain. His eyes are empty sockets into which only the darkest of blackness can be seen. And when you enter, everyone takes notice of you, but only the barkeep keeps paying attention to you. The dwarf and the goblins go back to, in the case of the dwarf, working on his rifle, and the goblins playing some sort of game. The barkeep smiles to you and waves you over while cleaning a glass. Welcome to the First Flies. It's always nice to have newcomers.
Greetings, boils, ghouls, and non-boonaries all. Yes, I do hate myself for borrowing Daniel's signature bad pun, but that's beside the point. Right now, it's pilot season here at Daniel's Dread Tales, meaning that we're doing a series of one-shots that could easily be launched into longer campaigns. There's nothing spookier than an unfinished story, after all, so join us at our Discord where we'll be launching votes on which pilots we pick up for syndication, so to speak. The link for our Discord is in the description, and we'd love to have you.
Hey Shannon, I have this really awful issue with a rash in a place I can't discuss on air. Do you have anything to help me with that?
Oh boy, do I, Matt! Have you tried Dice Beans? It's a podcast where games are played, and it's great, and it'll clear all your rashes up, especially the ones in those unmentionable places.
Oh, is it okay if I get it in an orifice?
I don't know how you would do that, it's audio. You can find it anywhere podcasts are.
Alright, I'm gonna head straight to my nearest podcast center and get me a jar of Dice Fiends. Thanks, Shannon.
You're welcome, Matt.
Dice Fiends has not been proven to clear rashes, but it can relieve boredom. If Dice Fiends is exposed to an orifice, contact your doctor immediately. You can find Dice Fiends and other shows like it on the Imaginary Broadcast Network.
Out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
These physical traits of the barkeep, with my knowledge of corruption and, the forbidden arts, would these strike me as signs of corruption, or would I think this might be something else?
The eyes, probably corruption. The skin, though, that's kind of an elf thing sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, so Lotus is gonna walk up to the bar.
Mm-hmm. You look tired.
I am looking for empties.
You're looking for empties? So like empty bottles?
Bottles would be good. Made of cork, too.
Out in the common area, you actually don't seem to find any bottles.
Mm.
You do find some stuff stuck to the underside of tables, although what that is, you're not entirely sure.
Probably not a bottle.
Probably not. Could put in your mouth, but who knows what it is.
Have we invented gum in this world?
Well, that's up to you.
Oh.
Could be
I'm
a
gonna
number
say
of
no.
things.
So it's truly a mystery what it is that's stuck to the bottom of this table.
Mystery substance. So yeah, to Lotus, the barkeep wipes down a spot for you and places down a glass and says to you, well, what will you be having? And what shall I address you as?
I am Lotus. I am a humble magician who was wrongfully deposited here with my compatriot.
Very common story here.
I give a nod at that when they say compatriots. I think I'll also sit down at the bar quietly. Are there any larger stools or more sturdy-looking stools or chairs?
No.
Or maybe I just stand.
You could, stand or, kneel. That'll get you about the right height.
Gosh.
Or just willfully destroy one of their stools.
Mm-hmm. The barkeep pours you a nice foamy beer, Lotus, and places 2 mugs in front of Brahm. Very common story to have someone who is wrongfully accused show up here in Sheol. Then he looks to Brahm, and what shall I address you as, large fellow?
I am Brom Storensen. I was not wrongfully imprisoned. I am a raider on the high seas, set to destroy the empires that once battled our people.
I see. And he pours you 2 drinks.
Does
What
it taste like shit?
No, this is good stuff, actually.
Oh, it's good stuff. Cool.
It's almost sweet, in fact.
Great. It's gonna kill us. It's got some sort of terrible thing in it, but I'm gonna drink it. Sure, whatever.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Em? You are an automaton, so
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
curious
drink.
what part of this appeals to you.
I think I'm just kind of pacing around, listening into the conversation at the bar, as well as anything else I can pick up.
The goblins seem to be playing some sort of dice game, and the dwarf is pretty busy with his rifle, using a small screwdriver to tighten some parts, and a small knife to shave off other parts. And the troublemaker, what are you up to, Nefty?
I am looking for a container that closes.
Okay. For your blood.
Yeah. Pockets only get you so far.
Well, you could ask someone.
But who? Oh, the bartender. Hey, you got any empties? You got something I can take with me to go?
I believe I have something around here I can part with. And he goes and finds himself a jar. It's got a little bit of dust inside of it, and it looks like it was covered in oil at some point, and he unscrews the lid to make sure that it does in fact unscrew. And then he goes to hand that out to you, and he holds it back for a moment and looks down at you and says,
Nefty's eyes glitter as though it is the greatest treasure he's ever beheld.
"To whom am I addressing
Nifty Firefox. I tip an imaginary hat.
A pleasure to meet you, Nefty. And he gives you the jar.
Much obliged.
Barkeep,
Yes.
2 questions. First question, and the more important one, really. What do we refer to you as? Like, what do we call you?
I am the barkeep.
Fair. Second question, also kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
Did you spend any time around, visit any goblin villages around 20 or so years ago?
Unfortunately, no. I have been here for, I don't even know how long at this point. It's been quite a lifestyle change, living here in the septic swamp.
I can imagine.
That explains the smell.
Yes, indeed. You all look quite tired. You are free to stay here for as long as you wish, rest, and do whatever it is you will, except harm those inside. Do not steal anything, but you may curl up in any corner you desire and find some slumber, if that is what you need. I expect, though, that you probably don't want to stay here for very long. Perhaps the Hollowgate Necropolis to the east is more to your liking. Or the Swale Tower.
The what?
The Hollowgate Necropolis? Perhaps for you, my large friend, the Nightmare Citadel to the north is probably something to your liking.
Oh, I like the sounds of that one.
Yes, you'd best find someone to swear fealty to. Grovel at their feet, and you may live long enough to have some memories worth still having here in Sheol. I suspect you don't want to lay down here forever, although, if that is your choice, I will accept you.
Can I ask, why are so many people missing their limbs around here?
Ah, yes.
I mean, this is how I talk. I do my deep, cool Jotun voice. I don't do my Daniel voice. I gotta remember my cool Jotun voice.
Yes. That is the followers of the spider. They have all given limbs to the creature. Pitiful one.
Bugs.
Oh, interesting. So maybe that guy that gave us the warm welcome was related to, associated with the spider you called them?
Describe this person, if you will.
Human, pale.
He fought
Had a
alongside
gun.
wolves made of flies.
Full of knife wounds.
Ah. You've met one of my hunters, then.
Oh, then this might be yours.
Lotus reaches into one of their pockets and pulls out the little wriggling burr thing.
Here you go.
Yes, that is in fact mine. You can do with it whatever you wish. It's outlived its usefulness.
Okay. I might be able to come up with a use for that.
Throughout this, Nefty has been trying to scoop blood from his pocket into the jar to limited effect, and he extends a hand and said, "Oh, did you want any of this back?"
Oh, no thank you. That is yours.
Good stuff.
Mops up some of the blood off the counter.
So then, bartender, M says, casually strolling up to it. I can take it that means that you are Fae?
I am called many things, and that is one of them.
We best not stay long. I'd rather not get stuck with any deals I wouldn't enjoy.
Well, if you do wish to leave, you will need to offer me something if you want to leave my septic swamp.
Ah, yes, of course. Of course.
Ooh.
We just took gifts from you, huh? We shouldn't have done that, right? I shouldn't have drank this. Like, this was a big mistake.
Oh no, the drinks are on
mistake.
me.
But we're not allowed to leave your town unless we give you something.
The hunters will not let you.
I will note, there's some hunters that tried to keep us from doing something before, and he's dead. I just
Mm-hmm.
trying to make that clear.
How many hunters do you have?
I've lost track by this point. Somewhere in the realm of 30. You know, Sheol is a very dangerous place, and the sooner you find someone to swear loyalty to, the safer you'll be.
So, you say we must give you an offering.
Yes.
what sort of offering are you expecting?
How big is he?
The elf, he's size 1. Probably like
Okay.
5.
Because I can offer him violence.
I will
That's a
answer
bad idea.
Damien first before
Okay.
you possibly
Yeah,
make
no,
a
that's
huge
fine.
mistake.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yes, an offering. A very simple one, in fact. The spider, which I've mentioned before. The spider has a name. I want its name. If you can find its name, then I will allow you passage to whichever hellhole you desire to live the rest of your days in. And there is one other thing. I have been incredibly hospitable to you by this point. There is one favor I'll ask you, and that is to stay away from the mausoleum. The woman inside is not what she says she is.
What is she?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, one of them sort of deals.
Yes,
Well,
Well,
a lot of people are more than what they seem.
indeed.
Hmm.
Just a name. That's all I need.
Okay.
So, when you say no violence inside, you mean inside the tavern here, right?
Please.
Or inside
Yes.
the town?
Inside the tavern. I expect that you might have to rough a few people up.
But we don't have to pay you any money for this drink and a place to stay. Like, really, really?
Correct, Brahm.
Okay. Well, we could find a name for you, I suppose.
It must be the real name, I should say. If you come back to me with a false one, I will know.
So if you would know whether it's a real name or not, could we just keep telling you names? And then you would know
Lenny,
if it's the real one or not?
that feels dumb.
If it was going to work that way,
Jared,
I would have figured it out by now.
That was my point. Like, that's what I didn't understand.
tried it already.
Brom? True names have power.
Yes. Now, please tell me you didn't share your true names with this extremely powerful creature.
It was a pleasure to meet Lotus, Brahm, and Nefti Firefest. What is your name, strange metal one?
You can call me M. It's not my name, but it's how I'd like to be addressed.
Very well, M.
We're so fucked, guys.
To be fair, Mike Lotus has had dealings with the Fae their whole life, literally. So, the whole changeling thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Well, let's take a nap. Let's just take a nap right now.
Please,
Yeah.
enjoy the amenities.
Lotus is gonna set down at a table somewhere, and for the next hour is gonna focus on one of their pistols
Mhm.
and attune to it so that they actually have an implement.
Nefty is making an implement as well.
All right. What is M and Brahm doing?
Sleeping.
Good choice.
Standing there menacingly. It's not menacing, it's actually, kind of adorable if you didn't know about the whole stabbing thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, robots don't need to sleep.
So, here in Sheol, where it is eternally dark, it's very easy to lose track of time. However, at some point, you do feel fully rested. When you complete the full rest, you heal damage equal to your healing rate. You can extend the period of time to a near full 24 hours. If you do that, you will heal twice your healing rate instead.
Oh boy.
I think we could just take a normal rest. At least for me, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay. So you will heal your
Fine by
healing
me.
rate.
That brings me up to 14 health out of 16 max.
Brings me up to 20 of 23.
It's not like I was going to be doing great in the first place.
Normal would bring me to 9 out of 15.
Fine, we'll do another rest so little Cry's babies here can get his health back.
Hey, I was good with continuing on with having, less health, but yeah, we can do another rest. I'm good with that.
Okay.
That brings me to 9 hit points or 9 damage that I can take. I'm okay with that.
At least now you got magic too, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, I'm like, I can actually do stuff now.
So at the end of your very long extended rest, you find that Your stomach is grumbling, and it doesn't appear that there's any food to be had around here. And in a septic swamp, who knows if you'd even really want it. But you are in much better positions health-wise.
Yeah, I don't. You don't eat fairy food. I know you don't do that. You also probably don't tell them your names, but regardless, don't worry about that part. It's fine.
It's fine. It's probably okay.
Wait, are sandwiches fairy food?
Who made it?
Bartender?
Let's just go to this spider, okay? Let's go to this spider and ask them what their name is.
That sounds like it'll be that easy. Absolutely.
And if they've got a problem with that, we'll beat it out of them.
This feels like an ill-conceived plan.
Best kind.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
How about if we, dummy one of these worshippers of the spider and one of us disguises themselves as a follower?
Don't all of their followers...
Yeah, we're missing part of the uniform.
Actually, if I have disguise expert, so if we get a disguise kit, I can just use that. I can also, because I am a robot, it won't exactly be pleasant, but we could remove my arm temporarily.
So, I know I may look like a cute chubby goblin at the moment, but I can potentially take one of their forms.
All right, go for it.
Well, we're gonna need one of them to be, like I said, incapacitated, because I'm gonna have to take their clothes too.
That can probably be arranged. Living or dead doesn't matter. Please.
I would prefer them not to be dead, but it doesn't really matter. They don't.
Yeah,
have
beggars
to be
can't be
alive.
choosers.
I'll do what I can.
Just don't hurt the clothes. That's
okay.
all that really matters at the end of the day.
What, do I look like a monster?
Yes.
A little bit, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You have blood pockets. And a blood jar.
Yeah. Shakes it eagerly.
Splat, splat.
All right, I'm going to walk out the door, duck down so as not to hit my head, and walk up to the first person who is missing a limb, who is walking alone.
Yeah, you find someone who is like shuffling along with a crutch, who is stopped by your very large, imposing presence, and looks up to you. Yes? Can I help
Do
you?
you serve the spider?
Of course. I serve the one true lord of the septic swamp.
Yes, of course. Oh! Hold on
You?
just a second. And I
Yes?
turn around and I look at the other guys. So this is a power thing. Like there's two factions and he's making us go fight the other faction.
Gang wars.
It's a gang war. I look over at the spider worshiper. You're in a gang war. Did you know that?
That's not what we call it. It is a family.
Okay.
Do you wish to join the family? You have 4 lovely limbs that you could donate to the spider.
Huh.
Which limb is this guy missing?
He's missing 1 leg. But he
I
has
sweep the
4
leg.
arms.
We're just gonna need to borrow this. I motioned the entire person.
It's my time to serve the spider. In death, I will offer the last offering. And they just sort of brace themselves to die.
I start adding their blood to my jar.
Oh my god.
You're killing them?
Can you not stain the clothes? We need those.
You don't need to kill someone to get blood out of them.
That's true. Well, that's why I asked.
Yeah, I think I'm just going for a cheek.
Okay. Cheek blood.
You see, as this is going on, if you look over at Lotus, you see Lotus kind of start to take off their garments and fold them up nicely. I don't want to ruin these. And then look at this one-legged worshiper of the spider.
This is the weirdest mugging.
And after a moment, you see them... Well, they also kind of grab the crutch in preparation for what comes next. And you see them warp and twist and contort, and all of the sudden, they are this other person. I'm assuming 1 leg and all.
I'll say that that's probably fine, yeah.
I'm gonna say what I often say in this sort of situation. Gross. Just my
We'll
reaction
say
to all of these things.
That your
Gross.
speed is halved.
You are a
That's
weird
fair.
goblin.
I'm not a goblin at the moment. I'm a. What was this thing? This person.
A very normal human person, we'll say.
Oh, it's fine.
There you go. And nothing of value was lost.
Yes.
And yeah, I start putting on their clothing. And then I'm going to look at them like right in the face. So they're looking at their own face and hearing their own voice.
Yeah.
Tell me, what exactly do you know of the spider? You can tell yourself.
My faith will be rewarded. The spider is the true lord of these lands, and was misplaced by, well, the one who has laid claim. The false leader, the false dryad.
Oh, that being the bartender.
Yes, I think so.
Like I said, gang war, turf war, clan conflict. I get it.
I used to thrive in places like that. Unfortunately, we're trying to take this one alive, in a way, so I'm a bit out of my element. Well, I guess I could seduce the spider. It's worked before.
Might be worth a shot.
We'll get to that if we get to that.
Let's just go in, figure out what the spider's deal is, beat the shit out of their followers, and get a name so we can leave. Or,
Take their
if we
blood.
dig the vibe of the spider, we maybe team up with the spider, say we'll work with you, but we gotta keep our limbs, and then we'll beat the shit out of this bartender. I don't really care. I just want to get out of this town, or I don't know, maybe we could run this town. We could run this town.
I mean, it's literally a shit swamp. I'm not sure. I'm not really into that, my man.
Fair, but it sounds like all the other places we had to go to, other people are going to be in charge of us. And I didn't come to prison to have people boss me around.
Well, if we're going to be in charge of anywhere, it's got to be the Nightmare Citadel.
You are attracted to that name. Interestingly enough, I am opposed to the name Nightmare Citadel.
Why is it? It's the Nightmares, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the
Obvious.
Citadel word, I was fine either way. The nightmare part, I'm a little bit more skeptical of.
If we take it over, change the name. It could be the Jotun Citadel. You like that, don't you?
I mean, I guess that's better. I mean,
Blood Library?
I was thinking we could name it after Grimnir. My
That's a
God,
possibility too.
you
Yeah.
guys worship Grim. You guys all know about the importance of Grimnir.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All right, he was giving us all a destiny we cannot escape.
Uh-huh.
Let's go talk to the spider.
Yeah, okay. I'm not worshiping it though.
Obviously not.
Mr. Spider Worshipper.
Yes. You can call me Hank.
Hank. Pleasant name. During your worship of the spider,
Yes.
do they reveal themselves directly to you?
Yes, of course.
Cool, that's all we need to know. I'm done talking to this human. Let's go.
Okay,
Works for me.
Rob, you can squish his head if you want.
Should we? Should we? I've now grabbed his head. Should we?
Yeah, I could eat.
Ooh, I mean eat humans. It's not healthy.
Yeah, me either. Wink.
I don't need to deal with him either way anymore. I got everything I needed from him.
I'm gonna toss him into the swamp. Toss him off the boardwalk.
Everywhere is the swamp.
I toss him
Yeah.
off the boardwalk.
Alright, he goes splashing naked into the swamp.
If he
Rough.
lives, he lives. If he dies, he dies.
This body is uncomfortable.
We are not
Can
promised
relate.
comfort in this life. Let's go find a spider.
Yes. And at that, Lotus bundles up their goblin clothes and kind of carries it along with them.
Okay.
Okay. To the spider!
Alright, so you go up to the church. The door is locked, but presumably with a knock. It opens up slowly, and someone hobbling on one leg, eyes first you, quote unquote, Lotus, and then like opens the door a little bit more for you, and then eyes the 3 people behind you and like glares at them. Come in, brother. I don't know who these strangers are that you've brought to our front door, but they must remain.
They are new supplicants for the glory of the spider. As you can see, they each have wonderful limbs.
I brought drinks. Shakes my jar.
Is the person in the church, their eyes widen and they get this rictus grin and they say, "Ah, yes, more offerings for the spider. Good, come in. We will harvest soon."
And when they turn their back,
You stab him.
I
Oh, no.
don't carry knives.
M stabs him.
Okay.
I
yeah.
do.
No, what were you going to say?
Is that actually what we're gonna do here?
I'm going to use a casting of Sense Magic.
Okay.
So basically what that does is for like a minute, I know if there are any ongoing magical effects in the area, and the area specifically is a 5-yard radius sphere centered on a point within my space. So I'm going to say centered on me. Actually, it doesn't say that there's a duration, so I think it's actually more of an immediate thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna like quietly speak the words, kind of like in a whisper, to try and keep it to myself. But yeah, I'm gonna cast Sense Magic.
Okay. You actually don't detect any magic here. Certainly not yet. No one's cast anything. As you kind of make your way into the church, you find that it's occupied by no less than 20 people, all missing their limbs.
Easy
Okay, so
fight.
we should not shank.
As you make your way into the church proper, past all the pews and many altars, chunks of flesh on the floor and sinews strapped to the walls, each of the windows are boarded up from the inside, keeping it nice and dark in here. There isn't even a candle lit within, so those of you who have shadow sight are kind of on the better end of this. But at the very far end, past the crowd, is a profane amalgamation of legs, arms, and dripping wet hands. There is a central torso, which appears to be feminine in some ways, and it's draped in this bright red cloth, which spills down, drooping like spilling blood. They're sort of propped up in like the back corner diagonal in front of an altar, in which there is a basin full of black ichor. The spider, as we're calling it, has a face. The face has been carved above its normally appearing elven eyes. There were sockets cut into there where someone has placed new eyes, and all 8 of them swivel to consider you. Each of you must give me a will challenge roll with 1 bane.
Is this to prevent insanity?
Correct.
Ooh, I get boons for this. I only end up having 1 boon.
This is in fact a horrifying creature.
So, for everybody at home listening, the reason why I get any boons for this is because one of the effects of having forbidden magic, or actually I think it's anything considered dark magic, I get 1 boon to resist insanity for each dark magic spell that I know. Or sorry, I think it's have learn. So even if I swap spells, I still get more.
Yeah.
I rolled a 16. My good luck continues for now, at least.
I rolled a 6 and with a bane of 2. So I think I got a 4.
Yep. So...
I got a 14.
I got a 6.
Okay, so...
Oh god.
After all that spiel...
Oh, I'm so tied into the darkness, I can resist all the insanity.
Yeah.
Well, potentially.
Yeah. Lotus,
I think I saw one of these back in the capital.
Lotus, you gain 1 insanity. And
Oh, that's
M, you gain 2 insanity.
Joy.
So regardless of the dice, all of you are considered frightened by this creature. However, Damien and Nathan, you gain the insanity. So yeah, you enter the church, the crowd sort of parts, And as you take in the spider, your brain does a somersault, and you see the spider collecting various instruments from the walls around it. Sharp instruments, perfect for sawing off limbs. And the spider looks down upon you and says,
Welcome. It is time for an offering for new members of the family. Come, let us add to my glorious mass.
The good news is that we don't have to fight this thing.
I'm sorry?
I mean, we don't have to kill it. Our win condition is learning its name.
Alright.
Once we do that, we can just fucking leave. Easier said than done, but for some reason, I don't want to fight that shit. Can you blame me?
Yeah, I'm having some second thoughts here. How about I just leave in peace here?
I'm going to yell, "What's your name?"
The spider.
Love it.
And what is yours?
I'm going to roll to grab somebody who is next to me to pick them up, and I'm going to throw them at the spider.
interesting.
I volunteer.
No, I'm going to grab one of its worshippers.
Oh, good.
Alright.
I make a strength or
roll-
agility attack against someone's agility.
Yes, with one Bane, because you were afraid.
Yeah, with one bay, but that's fine. I rolled a 9.
Okay, that will not work. You go to grab a cultist who hobbles away from you just in time to avoid your grasp, and you just kind of grab a fistful of air, and the spider says to you,
Cease what you are doing.
"Do you?"
I stop for a second. I have no quarrel with you, Spider. I honestly have no quarrel with the bartender either. I just want to get out of this fucking town.
Well, you come into my church, try to grab my followers, and now you make demands? I will show you uncharacteristic kindness in this regard. If you can get me what I want, and what I want is the legs of the barkeep.
I think he's using those.
Huh. Fascinating. Okay. Okay. Huddle up, gang. Huddle up.
Hey, so this sucks. That's the first thing M says.
How flammable is this place?
Easy enough to find out.
All right. And how flammable do you think that bar is?
Also easy enough to find out. You want us to do a comparative study?
We need not to... Again, in both cases, our win condition is not the death of who we're after.
Well, true. But if we were to kill the spider, that would count as a failure. If we were to kill the barkeeper, we could merely remove his legs and bring them here.
Yes, but we need a fully intact corpse, so no burning his house down.
Oh, I
Well, we need
assume
at least
this
his
sort
legs.
of mystical motherfucker is not going to get killed by his house being burned down. And if he does, actually, that maybe implies that he's not as strong as he fucking thinks he is, and we can probably just walk out.
I say we book it.
You think we just get out of this fucking town?
Let's book it.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like either of these guys. The
Yeah,
barkeeper's
neither.
like, I'm going to send my hunters after you. We handled the last hunter who came in touch with us. Let's just fucking go.
Yeah, and only one of us died.
And again, I must
Hey.
stress, we don't have to win every fight. We just gotta go.
Now, all we have to do is remove his leg. Hold on. In dark speech, I'm gonna look at the spider and say, do you want just his legs? Or would you like his arms as well?
I prefer the legs.
Oh, it looks like Lotus is making a call.
Yeah, everybody...
But I would take all the limbs in addition to his legs. I asked for the legs because I assumed those would be the easier of the limbs to extract.
Hey, how about this, okay? You want us to kill this guy? Remove his legs. You want to send us back up? We just fucking, let's do it. Let's not be like, fight in the shadows, little things here and there. You want this guy dead? Let's just do it. Everybody right here, let's go. Let's go kick his ass.
All right, I'm in. Let's go.
The easiest to convince.
I was more talking to the spider and their clan, their family.
I would send my clan, but I need them here.
For what purpose?
That is my business, not yours.
Okay, also not to get into like a whole thing. Say this kind of quietly, but I'm very loud. Okay, so this Fey guy is bad. You know, he's doing Fey dealings and whatnot. He isn't taking people's limbs, though. Like, if we're trying to pick the person who is more evil, it's probably the one that's taking limbs, right?
Yeah,
Now,
he
that
sounds
doesn't-
like a bastard. Shakes blood jar.
Now, I'm not saying that
Counterpoint.
that is a small factor in our deciding. It's not the determining factor.
Counterpoint: elves steal children.
Yeah, but those children are still alive.
Are
But
they
they got
though?
more limbs. Now, if we're just doing the math, these elves are stealing a lot more limbs.
Fair. And I suppose you can live a perfectly fine and fulfilling life when you're down one limb.
But not if you're tossed into the swamp.
Does the spider appear to have been human at one point?
The torso looks vaguely humanoidish. The head is pretty much elven. Every other piece is various chunks of beings.
Okay, so kind of both. Can't really decide there. I think we got to make a choice, though. What are we going to do? We're here right now.
Would
Okay.
Would it be safe for Lotus to assume that the spider is undead or maybe demonic?
Possibly either of those two.
Okay. That's fair.
All right. Okay, so we're going to kill the spider, right? We're going to kill the spider. This is what we're going to do. We got to kill this fucking spider. Oh, spider!
Okay.
Please,
If we are
give us a boon. Is there anything that you could give us before we go to win this fight?
Yes. I will give you one boon. A secret. He lies about what's in the mausoleum.
Oh, okay, so that's just like a whole other thing. You'll have to excuse us. Okay, so he said don't go to the mausoleum. Does that mean we should go to the mausoleum? I feel like this is taking forever. If we just kill this spider, then we could also go to the mausoleum and maybe kill this guy, and then we just take over the town.
Maybe we just burn the place down. Like the whole place. This place sucks.
This place does suck.
okay.
I'm actually
Hear me out. Again, we could just leave. Fuck the hunters. Fuck just all of this. We can just go. If shit sucks, hit the bricks.
While I do agree, I don't know how to get to the other places.
not gonna lie, I'm kind of curious about the mausoleum. I've been
Ugh.
curious ever since the barkeep mentioned it.
I mean, yes, of course, when somebody tells you not to go somewhere, you want to go to it. I get it. I totally understand.
All right, who are we killing? I sort of lost track. I'm about to start throwing knives here.
I mean, I'm kind of with you on that. Maybe we just fight the spider and then see what blows back from there.
This is a bad plan.
Well, I don't
Personally,
know.
I think the barkeep would be easier, but if you guys want to take out the spider, we can take out the spider.
But that's a walk.
All right. Because this whole town is horrible, we'll just do the awful neutral action of opening up a ungodly mausoleum. What am I doing with my life? I should have stayed a prostitute.
You're a robot. You're not technically alive.
Hey.
Okay.
Next, you're going to be saying you have a soul or something.
Ooh. Hey, the mausoleum might have what I need for my other project.
So we're not going to kill the spider right now. We could come back and kill the
Not
spider
yet.
later. Maybe we could do
I
something.
think we
to kill the
already made a
mausoleum.
deal with the spider.
What?
Yeah, let's just put a pin in the whole killing the spider thing.
Let's
All
also
right,
put a pin
spider.
in the whole killing the barkeeper thing. We'll see how it goes, you know?
We will honor your request, spider. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Wait.
Return only when you have the legs, in whatever form that is, attached to a dead body or detached from a living one.
Okay, yeah, no, totally, absolutely, got it. Yeah. Also, is this built into the swamp, or is this on a raised platform above the swamp?
It's on a raised platform above the swamp.
Cool. We're gonna knock this platform down. By the way, when we come and kill the spider later, but we'll deal with that later.
It's like 2 feet above the swamp.
Yeah, it'll totally mess them up.
Okay.
They'll be like,
They might fall
ew.
I'm pretty sure the building's probably fairly rickety. 2 feet drop with a rickety building is
It's pretty
probably going to be
significant.
enough to do some damage.
Let's be honest, 2 feet drop with any building is bound to cause some damage.
True.
That is 100% true as well.
Buildings aren't supposed to do that.
To the mausoleum.
Yeah.
The mausoleum.
Is that raised up on a platform?
It is not. The mausoleum is actually sunk partially into a swamp.
Gross.
Mm-hmm. You have to
I
trudge
didn't mean for
into
that to become
a
my
little bit.
catchphrase, but that is what this world is.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
So
What's the mausoleum's deal? I walk out of that place, I feel less afraid. Ugh. Gross.
So as we're walking out, Lotus shifts back. Like, basically, as Lotus leaves the building, they shift back into their goblin form, and felt so gross being like that.
One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to do that.
Being a human. Ugh.
Well, you can try. It takes a special person to do what I did.
I'm pretty special.
Ain't that the God's truth?
What's this mausoleum look like?
Okay. So it's a pretty standard fair mausoleum. Stone, like granite kind of deal. Maybe some marble. It's got this thick iron door on the front. And it looks like the swamp is trying to, like, climb up the outside of it to try to, like, swallow it. But obviously it's too big to completely take. As you get a bit closer, there's stone steps that kind of get you up out of the water and to the front door. You hear the sound of a woman's voice call out from the inside. It's unclear how she would even know that someone is approaching, considering how thick this door is and how thick the walls are. There are no windows here. So from the inside, you hear the muffled sounds of a woman saying, Hello? Can you help me out? Can you help me get out of here? There's something in here, and I think it's dangerous. I don't know what it wants, but it's in. I think it means to harm me. I'll do anything if you just get me out of here. Please hurry, please.
All right, gang. So
It's a trap, right?
Yeah, I was about to say this is a trap. This is a trap.
Yeah, big time trap.
This is a big time trap.
Obviously.
Big time trap. Okay. Let's not be crazy.
You want to break the door?
You think she got blood?
Yeah.
Probably.
How long have you been in there?
You got blood?
I don't know. It's dark in here. I don't
Okay,
know what
yeah,
day
so-
it is, or what time
Okay,
it is.
great.
All right, you should know the answer to at least one of those
Yeah,
questions.
no, this is kind of ridiculous. How did you end up in there?
He put me in here. The barkeep.
Okay. I still don't trust it.
M is
So-
about to do something very dumb.
Perfect.
Hypothetically, if you were not a helpless woman, but instead a horrifying monstrosity, would you make a deal with us that we'll let you out and then you'll help us kill the 2 gang leaders in this town?
I don't know if I could be much help in a fight, but I'll do what I can.
You know, I respect her not breaking kayfabe.
Do we want to just break down this door? Like, what, were we going
Let's
to
just
walk
break
to the
down the door.
mausoleum and not open up the door? Like, come on, we got
I've
to...
been
let's
booting
break
it
down
this
the
whole
door.
time. I'm just too small.
What is the door made out of, by the way?
Iron.
said it was iron?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ow.
Okay.
Brom, you want to...
I'll give it a shot.
Rip that shit off its hinges.
Yeah.
Give me a strength challenge roll with 2 banes.
All right. Fair.
Because you are large, but it is also iron.
Ooh.
Question.
Mhm.
How are you planning to break the door down? Are you going to, like, run up to it and shoulder check it?
Well, whatever I was going to do, it's not going to work because I rolled a 3
Oh.
total there. I just sort of, I just run up to it and just try to break it down with my whole body. Does not work, like, at all.
Oh.
I rolled like shit.
So, upon seeing this,
Mm-hmm.
Lotus is going to, look at Brahm
Hey, Brom, I have something that may help.
and mutter a few words, and I am going to cast, I will say, Swiftness. So what that's going to do, Lotus is going to walk up to Brahm, touch him on the leg, And Brahm gains a +10 bonus to speed because momentum and mass equals force.
Okay.
So that would be an alternative that would allow me to try the roll again.
Yes, I will allow another roll.
Do I get any bonuses because of that?
I could pray for you.
I'll
I
say
love it.
the extra speed gets you a boon. So that'll cancel out one of the banes.
Okay.
And if the prayer gives you another boon, that'll cancel out another one of the banes.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know what awful things listen to me, but sometimes it seems to work. So, give us a little help here.
Okay. I rolled a 15 plus 5. That's a 20.
Nice.
Okay.
God damn.
The plus 5 is from my strength, not from a bane or a boon or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, I'll get some blood for you.
So, with a bit of a running start, Brahm, you trudge through some swamp, you step up these stairs, and throw your entire giant shoulder into the door, which collapses and is thrown to the side, mostly bending than anything else. And for a moment, Brahm disappears into the darkness beyond that threshold. For a moment, there's just the sound of Brahm probably breathing heavily from the effort, and then crawling along the edges of the doorway are traces, little tendrils of a dark green slime mold, as they're sort of feeling their way out of the mausoleum. And inside Brahm, you stop just a couple of feet from a small figure kind of embedded into the floor of the mausoleum, just in front of a sarcophagus which has been opened. It is sort of like a weird fuzzy mass that's taken over most of that, but before the sarcophagus is what looks to be a small, bluish tinted young woman with sort of a wider hairstyle than you expected, very much like the cap of a mushroom. And as you come to terms with what you're seeing, the cap kind of tilts upwards to look at you, and a small, dainty woman's voice says to you, Thank you so much. I'm free. I'm finally free.
What's your deal?
This is my forest.
Nefty is just laughing in the background. It's a mushroom.
Are you... Wait a minute. Are you like the nice part of the swamp, and then there was like a spider and a fey guy who came in and took it over, but you're like the remnants of like the good part of the swamp? Is that what this is?
I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell me, I suppose. I don't know why I thought you would tell me.
Will you take me to my tree?
Maybe. Where is your tree, and what would that do?
With Shadow Sight, can I see this person in I'm gonna call them a myconid, inside the mausoleum?
Yeah, you could probably see them between Brahm's legs.
Yeah.
They are not exactly fused to the floor, but it looks like they're wearing like a big, long, flowy dress. They are definitely some sort of mushroom person. The shape of a woman is only kind of a suggestion. You don't really see very much that would actually define them as having like an actual bone structure.
You're of the Fae, aren't you?
I am not. I've consorted with the Fae, but I'm not one of them.
I wonder if there's a method in this game for figuring out when someone is lying to you.
There is, in fact. That would be a social roll, and that would be a... We could do
Perception?
Intellect versus intellect. We'll call that.
We really should have been checking this sooner, considering we have been talking to nothing but untrustworthy things today.
Oh no, but we know they're all lying to us, so...
Yeah, to be fair, I don't trust any
I'm
of
just
them.
bummed because none of them got blood.
Yeah, no blood so far. Well, the spider's got blood, though.
Yeah, but it's not theirs.
Nathan, that'll be an intellect versus this thing's intellect.
Right.
So give me a roll.
That I can do. That's a 6. I am not rolling well today.
Weirdly enough, for this particular creature, a 6 is higher than its intellect, which is strange to think about. Yeah, according to
I mean, mushrooms aren't known for their intelligence.
Yeah, so you do get the sense that this thing in here, it was lying to you before. There's nothing else in here that is a threat to it. However, it does not seem to be trying to deceive you in any fashion at this moment.
So, you want us to bring you to your tree?
Yeah.
What
Is
happens when
that-
you get there?
I'll take my
Let's find out.
back.
Nefty picks up the mushroom and starts marching.
It just off of the floor.
Ugh, hate that one. Hate that sound.
And it does have sort of a face. It's just sort of like a coloration that suggests a face. It doesn't move or anything when the thing speaks. It's sort of like how animals, like caterpillars, will evolve a coloration on their backs that suggests eyes and a mouth, but there isn't actually any.
So, I'm assuming your tree is the big tree, pointing at the tree that's in the middle of the bar.
That's my tree, yeah.
All right, you guys coming?
Yeah, may as well.
Does the tree
it's
stick
on
out
the
of,
way.
like, the top of the bar?
Yeah, the thing was like built around the tree.
Okay. Mushroom Girl. Do you have a name? Mushroom Girl?
Well, I gave my name out once, and then I ended up in the mausoleum.
Oh, I'm Brahm.
Hello, Brahm.
All right. Do you need to get to, like, the base of your tree, or could you just get to, like, the top of the tree?
I need to be at the base of the tree. That way my
Ah,
rod
okay.
can
See, I
spread
thought maybe we
further
could just
into the
get you-
roots.
Okay. And what happens when you get to the tree? I feel like we were asking that, and then we got distracted.
Well, then, all can be consumed in my glorious rod.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
No, okay, so everything sucks here. Everything sucks here.
Yep, no winning today.
Yeah. But it's on the way, so might as well. March, 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 march.
Well, I don't hate the idea of having a grateful eldritch horror mushroom lady on our side,
Yeah,
As
assuming she is going to be grateful and not try to eat us.
yeah, but she got her ass kicked once already.
if we bring you back to your tree, will we be able to leave this place unharmed?
Yes. I will spread my spores, and I will let you leave, if you wish. If you'd rather swear fealty to me, that's cool too.
Yeah.
I'd like to check out our options at the Nightmare Citadel.
I would like to roll against their intellect.
Yeah, I'd like
It's
to
not
maybe
hard
bring
to
my
see if they're
talents.
lying.
It's not hard, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's a 13.
Yeah. What are you trying to discern here?
If they were lying about letting us leave unharmed.
Seems like they're holding something back. Leaving, probably fine. But the harming
Unharmed.
may be tricky.
March, 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 march.
There really is just no winning with this one, huh?
Hey, Nefty, before
Eh?
we take her to the base of the tree, I would like to do one thing.
All right, well, hurry up. I'm almost there.
Oh my god.
Standing
So-
outside of the first flies.
Yeah, we've been walking and talking this whole time.
Yeah.
There is something that I would like to do, and it is probably going to be a very, very bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, as soon as we walk into the first flies, Lotus is going to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Good
This
god.
spell is called Division.
Oh, I know this spell.
It is
I
a
think I
rank
heard something
1
about it.
teleportation attack.
Mhm.
I make an intellect attack roll against the target's strength. On a success, the target takes 3d6 damage. If the target becomes incapacitated by this damage, pieces of its body fly apart, killing it instantly.
Okay. Who are you doing this on?
The barkeep.
Because if it falls to pieces, we can take its limbs.
Exactly.
I can
see.
please 2 Eldritch Horrors.
That's the easiest way to get the limbs that we require.
Yeah, so let's kick you out the door. I want to yell, give me your legs! And you cast
Again,
the
I'm booting
spell.
it this whole time, but I'm just so small.
Okay. So you kick in the door, Mushroom Lady, and Hand immediately will say that division happens. We'll resolve that before he even speaks. So, what is that, a attack roll, you said?
Yep, intellect attack roll against the target's strength.
Okay, you will be making that with 1 Bane.
Okay. So that is a grand total of 16, including the Bane.
Okay,
Not bad.
give me some damage.
Only 8 damage.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, you bust in, and you cast Division immediately, tearing up some of him, a little bit of his clothes. And Brahm shouts, what was it that you shouted? Give us your legs?
Give me your legs!
Give us your blood!
Okay. And he, behind the bar, he stops for a moment, then he leans on the bar, both hands on the wood, and looks to the group of you and says, Lotus, you will obey. And Lotus, we're going to do a intellect attack roll versus your will.
Right. This was a thing.
There. Yeah, I need to add more of this. Okay, 17 versus your will?
Yeah, my will is 12.
Okay. Lotus, you are compelled, which means that you cannot use actions or move. Instead, during fast turns, you're forced to move up to your speed or use an action. And the creature who compels you makes all decisions.
Yeah, okay.
And in this case, the decision is to aim basically your implement at the robot, who the barkeep does not know the proper name. And at that moment, the dwarf and the 4 goblins stand up from their places around their table. And I think that's where we're going to end it.
Just gonna be one of those fucking days.
Gonna get me some blood.
There's gonna be blood, I can promise you that. Thanks for listening, all you horrible abominations out there. Our cast this week featured series regulars Russell, Damien, who streams on Twitch at Magical Hack, and Nathan from the Kingdom Hearts of Forgotten Era podcast. And we can't forget our special guest and game master, Matt, from the Crows Codex, which you could find at the Crows Codex on your podcast platform of choice, at Crowdex on Twitter, and their website, crowscodex.com. Really great stuff they're doing over there. We'd love for you to join us on the Daniel's Dread Tales Discord. As soon as our pilot seasons are done, we're going to be taking votes for which show you like the most and want to hear more of. So if you want to hear more about what's going on with our Sheol Shadows buddies, let us know. And you can also follow our Twitter at Dan's Dread Tales, all one word. We'd love for you to spread the word about the show. It's always great to get new fans, or at least just listeners. And the best way for that to happen is for you to give us 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. Would really appreciate it if you could do that. But Daniel, you ask, I want more Daniel's Dread Tales. I don't want to wait 2 weeks between episodes. Well, you're in luck. This Sunday, the 28th, at least when this episode drops, we are going to be streaming the conclusion of our Lord Sworn game that we already played a little bit of. And it's going to be a great time. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, which is Daniel's Dread Tales on YouTube. Just search it up. The game is going to be played at 5 p.m. Pacific time and whatever other times that is in different time zones. I think like 8 o'clock Eastern and, other time zones. I'm not good at time zones. So please check out the show. I think you're really going to like it. I've been having a great time the last time we did it, so check it out. We'll see you all again in 2 weeks on February 9th for another exciting episode of Daniel's Dread Tales. Goodbye, and have a Shadow of the Demon Lordic day. No, maybe just have a demonic day sounds better. Bye.